Hello and welcome to this recap of the Ashley Benefield, aka the Black Swan case. Yesterday was day one in the case in chief. We started out by the with the state doing their opening statements. It seemed that their focus is that Ashley was wanting to be a single mom alone, and that's why she didn't want Doc in the picture. They went into talking about his physical appearance, that he was a small guy, that he wasn't that big, kind of to try to imply that he couldn't have done anything to her. I kind of think they followed it up later with his cousin Tommy with an IE, and that kind of backfired because when the daughter of Doc was on the stand, she testified when asked by the defense that yes, he did punch a drywall in the house, and he did unload one in a ceiling at one time, because the defense claims that she's a battered spouse, that she was fearful of him, that he was controlling, manipulative, and aggressive. And they got Tommy to testify that the relationship was good. Everything he knew from the relationship was it was a good relationship. They kind of implied that Tommy might have had the hots for Ashley as well. And again, when I cover cases, I always say it's not about the law. It's about what you can make the jury believe, because the jurors are instructed, well, you must go back and find this in accordance with the law. But they don't know the law. They're not lawyers. They are just like you and me. They are normal people, and they will be swayed by their feelings as well. So when they're sitting there listening to the defense opening statement, talking about how he was abusive to her, then they have his daughter testifying that he put holes through a wall in a ceiling, that their relationship was hunky dory. Could that work in her favor? I think so. Especially that implied that even his cousin wanted to marry her. They were trying to say that there was a text message where he had said that she had married the wrong Benefield, but it wasn't there. The defense lawyer, in my opinion, has his moments, but he also had these big lapses in judgment. Uh, he wanted to put in a text that absolutely did not say what he said, just because any woman on the jury, and the jury makeup is five women, one man, would see that as Tommy saying, I wanted you too. But that's an oddly sexist thinking, that every woman has the same mindset. And on the other hand, he gets some, I think he's a really good counterpuncher. He's really bad at certain parts of it, but I think he gets some good jabs in there that will stick with the jury, and that's the important part. Not so much what's really in evidence; it's what can you plant in the head of the jury. So when they are sitting in the back room discussing, saying, "Well, Tommy did say that," and he might not have said it, but they can believe he have said it. We watched another case where there's absolutely no evidence to sustain the claims from the state, but the jury still believes it. So, as I'm saying, juries are in emotion, they are not in law. And that's why court cases are not done by the law, they are done by feelings as well. Other than that, day one was filled with sidebars. There was a lot of arguments between the lawyers at sidebar. They seem to be very on the toes, making sure no one slides anything underneath the rock and get one up over each other. The judge seems very fair. I like this judge. He runs his courtroom straight. He goes very late. It's a nice to be in a courtroom where they start almost on time and they go late as well. There's nothing like another judge where they keep sighing and coughing and saying, "Well, let's take a half day." He is running through it, boom, boom, boom. Most of the evidence we got from the state yesterday were we had the neighbor who she ran to and made him call 911. We could hear her in the background. In my opinion, she sounded very upset. I don't know if she's playing. I don't know, whatever. She has a weird demeanor in court, I feel, but some people are saying she has some illnesses that could make her feel uncomfortable. Again, I don't do body language. I don't believe that you can tell anything from that. She could have been told by the lawyer, sit there and look stone faced or look like you're sorry or something like that. I liked it when the neighbor was there. She smiled a little bit. Um, I think that makes her more personable, but that's just my opinion. The rest of the witnesses was technical witnesses. The first arriving officer, the crime scene techs. There was a lot of photographs of the crime scene. Another thing that's been so refreshing after watching 3 months where they had taken photos with a potato and you couldn't tell anything. Everything is well documented. There's no dispute that 4 rounds were sent flying. He caught two of them. That's not what the case is about. A lot of people are sitting here talking about, well, what about gun residue? What about this? What about no? What we are doing this case for is to figure out, did she unalive her husband, or was she so afraid that she had a legal right to unalive him? And so far, the state haven't really, to me, proven that he was not aggressive, because the only two people who have talked about what went on in the relationship said they had a loving relationship, but he acted up sometimes. So right now, as we always are, you go into a case, you say innocent until proven guilty, and then the state have to put it over to guilty. There's a lot of things that makes me wonder why this 13-day courtship before marriage, why moving in, moving out, were they going to Maryland together? I just don't have a timeline that makes me able to put this together. So I have to go with the automatic that she's innocent until proven guilty, because that is how a court should be run. No matter if you like her or dislike her, the state have to prove her guilty. And so far, it's been mostly technical. It's moving really fast and it's really nice. There's not too much of this what size clothes do your kids wear or anything. Evidence are produced, witness statements are produced, and it's just flowing. There was one officer who couldn't remember he had made a report where the mom had called and said, dog is standing outside in a driveway. Apparently, he put tracers on her car and stuff like that. So that's going to be interesting when the defense comes on to hear them talk about all of this manipulation, all of this physical abuse, all of this surveillance he apparently did. We have opening statements for it right now. We haven't had it proven in court. So we also have to remember opening statements are just opening statements. That's not something you can verify and it's not something you can use. But still, it'll lodge in the head of the juror. Um, Day one, really fast, a lot of witnesses. Day two, probably going to be the same. The state is talking about already resting Thursday morning. They just need one person in on Thursday if everything goes according to plan. So I would guess this goes to the jurors Friday morning after closing. But very interesting case. I don't have a feel for what went on in the relationship. I have to be honest. Uh, I think you could both argue that she was kind of like a gold digger. You can say he was a guy in a midlife crisis who just wanted some young meat. It's a really weird case, and that's why it's going to be interesting to follow day two. And I hope you'll follow it along with us.